I think everyone should reveal their
seems
salary on camera right now.
Okay.
I'm down.
Start with Nick.
Let's all predict the quote. Bi-weekly cleaning. Well, I guess just per
Wait,
cleaning.
we're doing bi-weekly? Well, also bi-weekly can mean two things.
We don't have to lock
Just
in.
per
We're
clean.
just asking for cleans, yeah.
Per clean.
Wait, actually, I want to hear that. What you were going to say bi-weekly could mean two things.
Yeah, what?
How can it mean more than one thing?
Bi-weekly?
400.
I got a great feeling about
400?
400 is my guess.
this.
Can't bi-weekly mean once every 2 weeks, but also twice a week?
No.
No.
Thank you.
Bi-weekly does not mean twice a week.
Yeah, these guys are... Yeah, it definitely can.
No.
It certainly can. Bi-weekly can mean twice a month or twice a week.
Yes, bi-weekly is 2 meetings every 2 weeks or twice a week.
Really?
Never once.
Pan to that dumbass.
All right.
Pan to him.
I'm going to guess
Thank you.
650.
You think he'll apologize, or he's just gonna act like that didn't happen?
I'm looking it up to confirm.
I think he
Just
wants
know,
to-
I know Nate typed it in and went to Google AI.
Google
which
AI is
it's
the
never been
single
right
worst
once in-
ever.
Yeah, once thing.
It's honestly a crime that they continue to put.
All right, first result, Merriam-Webster says the exact same thing.
Okay. I can say I took an L there. Just like I'm 8th in points for in this conversation right now. That's basically how I put that.
See, he said he would eat it,
What
but all
is
he did
your-
was deflect.
What is your
And
projection?
no apology.
How is that a deflection? I'm saying I did terrible and I drafted a terrible team in this conversation and I ended up with
See?
better results.
This is a problem with his generation. I don't know what it is, but it's a problem. What do you want? How much do I think it costs to clean this apartment?
This
This
office.
is not an apartment.
I'll go 375. Tom.
I'm saying $350.
Okay, this is ridiculous.
They're giving this shit away for free.
Wait, why is that
you just
ridiculous?
literally took my guess.
You said $375.
Yes. You're like right next to it.
Okay, but we
Like,
all
once
know.
be your own man.
Okay, but we all know.
One time in your life,
generally, we
don't
all.
get hired by your brother. One time.
See, he didn't have to go the Nepo route.
Okay, the other thing to note here is they're using two. They said they're going to bring in two guys.
That's true.
2 employees is
See,
going to.
that's good info. That just came to my attention.
Which might even be
650.
more. Can't be 650.
Nah, it's 400.
If they do 4 hours of work, there's just no chance it's going to be
It
$130.
doesn't take 4 hours to clean this
You
place.
said 4 to 5 hours.
I thought he's about to say
Actually-
40, 50 minutes.
Nate, he said 4 to 5 hours.
He did.
Every single time I've spoken, a new fact has come up. 2 people out of
Yeah.
nowhere. 4 to 5 hours.
All right, how much?
The guy was in here saying it
No,
out
I'm
loud.
just saying I would have liked to have been presented all the information.
I mean, maybe you could have asked the questions.
I didn't know. I thought you were going to be a fair person. Again,
I-
problem with his generation.
I thought everybody was in here listening. You don't
knew I
listen to
wasn't-
anything.
You knew I wasn't in here.
I don't care what you're doing.
Like, I literally sit next to you and make so much noise, you would know if I was there.
Does this look like a signature or just an add-on from me?
That just looks like Sexy wrote his name with a cursive S.
Look at Sexy signature.
That's yours, sexy? That's your first time attempting a sexy signature? Okay, yeah, it looks like it. Casey, your shit looks like you haven't been in school in 20 years.
Oh
When
my
was the last
God.
time you wrote something?
Do you know the problem with his generation?
go.
Is I prove him wrong once, and now he's just constant attacks on my character, on my life.
What a pathetic generation.
It's just like, you were wrong. You're wrong. Eat it and move on. And be a kind person.
Is that what you do in these videos?
Let's go
When
film.
you're wrong
Nah,
weekly?
fuck everybody who I'm talking to right now. Actually.
Go, 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 go. And on the count of 3. Go, 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 go. And on the count of 3. Go, go, go.
Today is Sunday, December 7th.
A date which will live in infamy.
We are in the middle of week 14. 4 more weeks until we never see Unc again. I don't know if I've ever seen him this overworked. Unc's tired.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
Let's worry on the one
You
he
look
watched.
tired. I am tired.
You okay? I didn't look at you until now.
Appreciate that, boys.
And it's gonna be a shame when I beat him in any league mates.
Sunday, and the only thing that I really care about right now is JMO losing in fantasy or myself winning, but that's not going to happen, I don't think, right now. 19% against Tony on Sleeper, but JMO is 11% versus Case. Dog, which would be huge because that locks me up the bye. Barring a massive game from Jordan Love or Michael Wilson.
Caught! Touchdown! Michael Wilson! Brissett throws. Wilson, Jacoby Brissett. So it is caught. Touchdown.
You ain't talking money, I don't hear you. You ain't gotta touch my.
That's big because Achane just got hurt. Everybody's hurt. I just need like a week to rest, to reset. Honestly, just to not have anxiety on Sunday for one single time would be phenomenal. So that's really what's on my mind right now. Been working on a few things on the back end of content. As I look towards the end of football season, I start to think about like what kind of creative videos can I make? What kind of fun can I have outside of ranking fucking 50 running backs the same guys every single week, just in a different order, like on a carousel. Starting to make like a recap video of 2025 from like a personal standpoint and business as well. Most of my life revolves around this business, so a lot of it is. But I think a lot of you guys will find it interesting. I'm going to go into a lot of the behind the scenes of the business in terms of like our revenue splits, how we operate, expenses, things like that. But I'll also go through some more personal stuff like my favorite, music, movies, the ups and downs, lessons I've learned throughout the year. So kind of been hopping around different coffee shops and just like trying to be inspired to make a piece of content like that. And I used to do that a lot when I was younger. I haven't been doing it much in the recent years because I've been so kind of like locked in on what we're building here. But I am looking forward to getting more into that type of content in the off season.
Last year I made like a best of video, and it was mainly of the vlogs. I think it was all vlog clips of like the best moments from the whole year. And this year I was trying to stay on top of everything, like through the vlogs of like best moments, but a lot of moments there was no best ofs. It was just kind of like a boring vlog, so I kind of lost interest of me tracking stuff. So now I need help. Not help, like I have a kind of an idea of like kind of the best moments, but like I want to include like some of the trivia stuff or some of the your league mate stuff that was funny to like put in this video for you guys for the end of the year. Not sure when it will go up, but YouTube had like a wrapped thing, sort of like Spotify, where it showed you like how much you watched. So I need the people that watched a lot of videos or majority of videos or have certain videos or certain things that happened this year that I'm completely forgetting about to drop it in the comments, some of the best moments. And if you do remember what video it is or what, if it was like a Jeopardy or a Gauntlet video, to let me know, because I'm gonna need to go through and pull that stuff. And there's so much footage this year that I'm gonna forget, and I don't want to forget like really good ones because I just overlooked it. So I'm asking you guys to help me out with that. If you do remember stuff, drop it down below, or I'm gonna go through the comments and try to pull all those titles or whatever those videos are that you guys are mentioned, and then put it in.
For the second last time in 2025, at least for me, second last time in the office on a Sunday till the big 2026 hits. It's definitely winter. It's getting a little cold. It hasn't snowed here yet though, which feels, I don't know if that's normal for it not to snow in December, but it feels weird to me. It's gone below freezing one day, and JMO, on that day when we came in, thought it was the worst thing ever. It's kind of funny to me because like just going below freezing to me is still pretty warm in the winter. Like if I'm used to it being significantly worse, and if it was 30 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 degrees Fahrenheit on a winter day, people in Canada are pumped. We're going outside, doing whatever the fuck we want to do, wearing t-shirts. But for a Florida boy like JMO, that was the worst day of the year for him. We'll see if he can recover from whatever this winter has to offer.
Good news this week, I've been mentioning the past few weeks that I've been talking to JL about fantasy product. The fantasy draft game that we want to turn into a product to launch on our website. Made pretty good progress about basically the idea of what we want to build, because there's fantasy draft as a whole. You guys like watch us play, and so many of you comment, how do I play this? I want to play this. Can we play this? Where's the link? Which we plan on making, but there's a million different ways to make fantasy drafts. Is it going to be a single player mode where you play every single day? It's just kind of you, kind of like how you play the list games. Name the last 28 players to fucking score a touchdown for the Cowboys. Is it going to be like that? Fantasy drafts, like here's your prompt for the day. You play by yourself, see the average score compared to others. Is it you where you play by yourself every day and see everyone's score? Maybe there's like a leaderboard. Or is it multiplayer where you can play with your buddies in your basement? You can play with your buddies at a party, like how we play on the couch. Is it able to do online matchmaking, like how you could just hop on a website and play chess versus a random person in the world? You can make fantasy drafts like that. It's a million different ways, and Obviously, none of those are easy to actually build out. They're fun to just throw out against a whiteboard in conversation. But this week so far, me and JL have been kind of concreting, like, okay, which of these are feasible? Which of these do we think is the best? And, you know, we see fantasy drafts as being a very important game in our arsenal, to where whichever route we go now could just be version 1. Doesn't mean we won't do the others in the future. So me and JL have been hopping on weekly calls. Sometimes we have 2 calls a week, which if we just feeling excited. We've also flirted around the idea of building out the game called Luck of the Draw, which I don't know if YouTube has seen yet, but on TikTok we've played that. It's been really cool. I don't really just want to keep throwing out ideas at you guys in the vlogs, like we're gonna do this, and this, and none of it happens. But I've been telling JL, like, don't fucking tease me. He's like, I'm serious. So it's cool to get those conversations going, and I expect to have one, if not both of them, in the spring of next year, hopefully. Outside of that, Gut has been out this week due to his triple hernia surgery. Hope he's doing well. From the little bit I texted him, he is not doing well. He sounds like he had triple hernia surgery. He said he needs like help to lay in bed. He needs a walker. He's got holes in his stomach. Sounds like what triple hernia surgery would be. And he keeps saying, like, I'll be back next week. And I'm like, brother, we can film TikToks without you. Like, I got you covered. And he's like, I'm gonna try. I'm like, you don't have to. Either way, we'll see if Gut's in office next week. In the meantime,
JMO wanted me to do my 10 in, 10 out. That's way too many players right now. Let me see if I can think of any off the top of my head. Whatever running back goes to Chicago next year out of the rookie class, if they do draft a running back, super duper in on.
And one of the topics on the couch today while watching football is who we're in on and out on for the 2026 NFL season. Apparently Joe's just been spitting some names. I could just tell you I'm out on about everyone. Anyone you think is like a lock next year, I'm out on.
Breece Hall, that's going to be landing spot dependent. I'm not totally out on Breece. Like I've hated Breece the last couple of years just because it's insufferable watching the Jets. But like had he been traded to the Kansas City Chiefs at the trade deadline, which apparently they were very close, be fine with Breece. Like Breece is another guy where you see a lot of these running backs like the Saquons where their careers are not necessarily linear, right? It's very situation based. It's like if they're in the right spot, then we know Breece is still a very good running back. So if he lands in a good spot, like maybe he goes to Houston next year. I think he could be a good pairing in that Houston backfield. CJ Stroud, the guy that's like a compliment to Woody Marks. I'd like to see him go somewhere where he's like a 3-down back, obviously, but Breece is definitely someone I could be talked back into next year for sure.
Free agent Breece Hall. I mean, then there's too many question marks right now. I think he can go to his spot. Breece Hall feels like one of those guys, he goes to a good team, and then that's when he finally pops off and is like really, really good. So I could see myself being in on Breece Hall this year. I'm going to say in.
Breece Hall, probably out.
Lamar Jackson, I'm in. J-Mo's definitely going to be out. He's been saying it all day. Out on Lamar.
Lamar Jackson next year, out on.
I mean, it's Lamar Jackson. We're going to see him bounce back next year. Be the same guy we've seen him the past few years. And then he's going to even be at a little bit of discount too, probably. Maybe not like too much of a discount because everyone still knows it's Lamar. But maybe instead of like QB2, he's like QB4. And then he's going to play next year, be incredible. And we're going to be like, why the fuck did we ever doubt Lamar Jackson? So in on Lamar.
Jetta's out if he's got McCarthy.
Justin Jefferson. See, I was curious about this earlier. How high is he going to go in drafts next year? Like, assuming J.J. McCarthy is the quarterback again, does he fall to the 3rd? Does he fall to the 4th? I feel like just because I've been traumatized by him this year, I'm not going to pick him. I'm going to let him fall to whoever else wants him. But, like, if he's available in, like, the 5th round, it'd be hard to pass up on him. He kind of feels like he could just end up being, like, with J.J. McCarthy, like a Garrett Wilson type, where he has some good games, but the ceiling just isn't there because of the quarterback. I'm going to say out, but potentially in if he falls far enough.
I'm on Ross St. Brown, out on. Jackson Smith and Jigba next year, out on.
Derrick Henry is going to be a fucking value at cost next year. Like, Derrick, everyone's going to be like, oh, he's so fucking old, and he is really old, but he's going to be like a 5th-round pick, and he's going to end up scoring 14 touchdowns next year. He's going to be a value.
Baker, out. Sam Darnold, out.
Josh Jacobs, I'll probably be in again. I drafted him this year in the 3rd round, and I just feel like that's where he continuously gets drafted, and you end up getting like the RB 11, right? It's just like a nice piece to have. A lot of times you're in the 3rd round, and like you're throwing out picks that guys just get injured or guys just bust or whatever. And Jacobs is as solid as they come. Love the makeup of the Packers. The O-line will be healthy again next year. It'll be a good team. Like, draft good running backs on good teams. i.e. Derrick Henry.
He kind of feels like one of those guys, we know what he is. It's really going to depend on how high he's going. Second round, no. Third round, I would probably be willing to take some shots on Josh Jacobs in the third round. Nice little RB2, maybe if you go wide receiver heavy, not a bad RB1 to have.
Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm not out on Gibbs, but I'm out on drafting Gibbs at like the 101, 102, which he probably will be next year. Out on.
Jahmyr Gibbs. I know JMO's like, he's going to be like the 1 of 1. I'm taking him at the 1 of 1 if I have the 1 of 1. Just so everybody knows that. Jahmyr Gibbs has been one of my favorite players to watch for fantasy. Watching him on my team every week has been one of the greatest joys I've ever had in fantasy. Just watching that man play football is one of the most fun things I get to do because the Jets fucking suck. So I have to root for players because there is no joy in rooting for the Jets.
Drake May, I like, but he's going to be drafted so high. He'll probably be like the third quarterback off the board. I'm like, I don't know if I want to pay that price. Dak, out.
Kyron Williams, very likely to be out on next year, just the way that the splits between him and Blake Corum are going right now. I think they kind of want to use a two-headed monster, and honestly, Blake Corum looks really good. So Woody Marks, interesting case. I think they're going to add another legitimate back to the backfield. Woody Marks is like a good pass catcher, but I think that's what they originally wanted him to be, alongside a Nick Chubb or a Dameon Pierce or whatever. And then Joe Mixon's obviously been out for the entire year, so maybe Joe Mixon comes back, but I can't imagine he's going to be like very good after a 1-year layoff from an injury. So I think the Houston Texans end up attacking the running back position in free agency or the draft, and they'll have a nice complement between him and Woody Marks. So like, Marks the guy I'd be like, all right, having on my team if he ends up going like later in the draft, but I would be shocked if they went into 2026 with Woody Marks as the one there. Travis Etienne, very unlikely I am in on Etienne next year. He's been good, but I think we're just going to have more of that conversation about Bashaw Tootin next offseason. LaQuinn Allen will be a pass-catching running back there. Maybe Etienne will be a little bit undervalued, but if he goes anywhere like in the 4th round, I'm probably out on him.
Judkins, Judkins is one of those guys where it's like he gets so many touches, but they're not valuable touches because the team sucks. They don't really get on the goal line too often, although when they do, they give it to him a lot. He doesn't catch too many passes, so he's going to have some monster games, but I'd assume he probably goes in like the 2nd round. And I think there's players who I'm going to prefer over Judkins around that area. So I'm going to say out.
Judkins, very much going to be in on Judkins. Love Judkins. He's a fucking baller of a player. I think the Browns are, I don't know what they're going to do this offseason in terms of quarterback. They're going to have a very high pick, obviously. So I think they end up getting a rookie quarterback. If they could stabilize that offense, I think Judkins will end up being like the modern day, maybe like Joe Mixon. Like Joe Mixon was like a perennial 13 to 1,500 yard, 8 to 12 touchdown guy. Season in and season out. And people kind of like got bored of him, but every year if you had him in your RB2 spot, golden. And I think Judkins probably has more upside than that. He's a little bit more explosive.
Tua always out. And for y'all who are like, JMO, you're an idiot. This year, the number 1 player I was out on, Saquon Barkley. Last year, number 1 player I was out on, Christian McCaffrey. CMC didn't even fucking play last year. This year, Saquon Barkley playing, but hella disappointing. There's no QBs I really want to draft next year, which is going to be tough. Rodgers going to retire probably. Bo Nix, out.
C-Mac, yeah. I could draft C-Mac next year if they go into the exact same situation, I think. If they run it all back, if it's Brock again, if it's the same receiving group, like same coaches, offensive line is fine, I'm fine with that. Because I also think like C-Mac's going to age probably pretty well, even outside of just like getting 20 carries a week. Like I think he's a guy that you can use in a role the way that they use him right now in the passing game, catching like 5 to 7 passes a game. So if I got to spend like a 1st round price on him, I'll have to think about it. But like I could see myself thinking about C-Mac in like the 2nd or 3rd round next year, depending on the offseason moves. So
TMC, honestly, I'm out. Insane touch year this year. I don't even know how many he's going to have. I know he was averaging like 25 or 26 touches per game. I just don't trust that he's going to be able to do that again next year and not get hurt. I'm not touching him with the 10-foot pole.
Genty, that's going to be Genty's going to be completely dependent on all the Raiders offseason moves. Like they're going to need to attack the offensive line heavily. They're going to need to throw bags around to the big boys. Probably need Pete Carroll out of there. Need an offensive-minded coach. They're going to need to do a big overhaul for me to want to touch Genty inside the 2nd round. Malik Neighbors is a tough one right now. I'm not worried about his injury. Like I think I'm in on Malik Neighbors. I think they'll end up running out the same grouping of receivers that they have right now. Like We'll have to see if they re-sign Wandell. I kind of think he's earned like a decent contract, so maybe they let him walk. But if they go in him, Slayton, Wandell again, Theo Johnson, Jackson Dart, I'll be in on Malik. He'll get a ton of targets. But yeah, if we can get an injury discount on him, I'm good on that.
So far out. You know, I cannot believe Egbuka is not being viewed more negatively than he is right now. This guy, he started off so hot. He was so good the first like 5-6 weeks of the year. Since then, he has been disgustingly bad. Like every week he puts up like 2 catches for 20 yards and that's it. And nobody's noticed just how bad he's been. I don't understand it at all. We just saw him drop a right in the hands touchdown that could have tied the game for the Bucs. They wanted him in Deal or No Deal this week. I smash accepted that, and clearly it was a great decision. 2 for 15. Egbuka he had that great start and he just hasn't been it. That's even without Godwin being at full health. Evans has been out. Once those guys are back, and like I think those guys are probably going to be on the team next year too. So it's like, how much can we expect from Egbuka? He's probably going to have a lot of hype because of those first 5 weeks of the year, and go in like the 5th round, maybe 6th round. I'm so out on that. Egbuka, overrated.
Kenneth Walker's never been a guy that I've been going in on, really. Like he was, he's been a guy that's been like 3rd, 4th round pick, it feels like, for 5 straight years and never delivers on his ADP. So me not being a dude that was in on Kenneth Walker this season has not changed anything in my mind there. So unless for some reason Charbonnet's not in the picture next year, which I think he's still under his rookie contract, I'll be out on him. That's my quick analysis on fantasy for 2026. I think that's the only thing I care about.
Kenneth Walker, straight out on. The Seahawks love to use a running back by committee. Not enough upside for Walker. And Charbonnet's probably still going to be there. I don't think he's a free agent, so out.
DK probably out. Arthur Smith as the offensive coordinator there is hard to be attracted to anything till today. I do think it's funny, though, that in Idiot League Mates, I somehow convinced Sexy to drop Aaron Rodgers. We were filming Friday, and I don't remember what it was. Who did he drop Rodgers? Yeah, he picked up Ricky Pearsall, and he needed to drop a player, Darius Slayton and Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, you should drop Rodgers. Because he does have 3 other quarterbacks. He has Burrow, Bo Nix, Jacoby Brissett, Rodgers as a 4. So, like, he's never going to start Rodgers. I'm like, just do it. And I somehow convinced him, and I think it's awesome that Rodgers' last 3 games, 2 points, 6 points, 9 points. I pick him up 21. I think I'm just out on everyone unless Rodgers is back with DK. Other than that, not gonna lie, I'm just kind of waiting for Christmas. All right, kisses.